Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
The next church on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, period, does the FBI find people? The people's misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E.
What more do you need to see?
Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
Because he's the guy.
I object.
All right, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addict. We are about to start day one, part two, which we missed. Thank you, everyone. It looks like most of you made the portal. A few of you didn't, but found your way back anyway. First of all, Firegirl, handmade by Wendy. You were first in chat. The internet is now yours. Your first job is to get everyone who fell out of the portal on the trip rounded back up and back with us. So if you can get that underway, that would be great. We're gonna get started, and I'll let you just. She says, "I noticed when you were building the stream, you were in a little bit early, which is great. We love it." All right, I think this stream will be interesting. Now that we know some of this other stuff, I think this will help fill in some of the gaps of the timeline and make it all make sense a little bit, especially because we've heard so little about Zach so far. I think this is why. I think we just missed it because this was happening. Now, you're going to hear Chris's voice. This is Trial TV Live. Let me show you what we've got here. This is where we're going right here. We've got Chris. He's down in their corner. He is the squeegee of justice. Chris is a good friend. We work together closely on some trials, and we'll be doing some more in the future. Commands are not working. I'll get them fixed in just a second. But I want to just say thank you to him for letting us all use this, because we lost it. It was gone into the nether, probably because some things were shown. We're hoping that doesn't happen here. But we're going to play his version of this and let that roll. And let's see, do we have that? Let's get some audio. There we go. And we might play at 1.25 speed as well. This is just the afternoon of day one.
All right, anything from the state?
We have subtitles.
Jury panel back in.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Please bring them in.
Bring them in. I'm going to have to boost this a little bit because some of them get quiet. If you're not following Trial TV Live, I highly recommend it. They're a great channel. They follow court cases. They love providing transparency to court. The seat should be working right now. I think everything, I turned everything on. I just rebooted the whole system. I'm standing as well, if that's any consolation. So I'm probably going to jump out of my skin when Chris first talks, but this is the way we've got to do it today. We're going to skip ahead. There we go. What was fun is I've been in talks with Trial TV Live for a long time about before we even started working together. Just ideas, talking about YouTube, talking about access to courtroom, what I wanted to do with the channel, what they wanted to do, where there was room for us to work together and collaborate, how we could both benefit and help each other out. They've been absolutely amazing. So much fun to work with. They've bent over backwards. They've oftentimes, contributed a lot more than they had planned on contributing to make some of these things happen. So big shout out to them. Really appreciate it to both of them. They are also following this trial live as well. So if you hear Chris's commentary, you think, hey, that's pretty good. I like what this guy says. I like how he commentates on this trial. You can always bail on my coverage and watch it with him. I would not be offended. I would not be offended if you did that. It's always good. And there's a link. Thank you, Samantha, for the link for their channel. The minimum, it's great to subscribe. They sometimes follow cases we do not.
Nothing but the truth, so help you God.
New witnesses here. This is day 1, part 2, Josh. I'm not sure if that messes up your names at all.
Thank you very much. Please state your name for the record. Darby Harriman Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, where are you currently employed?
I am a paralegal for the Lawrence County Attorney's Office.
Okay. And back in October of 2021, where were you employed then?
Greenville County Forensics.
And what specifically was your role with Greenville County Forensics?
I was a forensic evidence technician, so I would respond to scenes, process scenes as needed.
When you say process scenes, what kind of activities would you be doing when you're processing a scene?
So it depends on the scene. I would typically I would document the scene, taking photographs, taking video if necessary, collect evidence, process for fingerprints and such.
Okay. And were you involved in this particular case specifically? Were you involved in processing a scene on 122 Canebrake Drive in Greenville County on October 13th of 2021?
I was involved in the investigation. I did not process the scene at 122 Canebrake.
Okay, so you responded out to 122 Canebrake? I did. Okay. And as part of you responding to 122 Canebrake, were you responsible for collecting some DNA samples for subsequent testing?
I specifically responded to 4 McGee Street
to
process the complainant.
Okay. And who is the complainant?
It was Bradley Post.
Okay. And did you subsequently take buccal swab samples from Bradley Post?
I did.
Okay. I'm going to show Ms. Jackson what's been marked as State's Exhibit 11 and State's Exhibit 10.
She's an evidence technician, or that's what she was doing. That's the role she was in the other day when she did this.
Showing you State's Exhibit 10 and 11. Do you recognize the 2 items I've handed you?
I do.
Okay. And I believe they're labeled, so State's Exhibit 10, DHE2, and State's Exhibit 11, DHE1. DH being your initials?
That's correct.
Okay. So, to your knowledge, these are the samples that you collected at the time of your involvement in this case?
That's correct.
And after you collect these samples, or first, let's explain to the jury, when I say buccal swab, what exactly is that?
So a buccal swab is a cheek swab. We will take a sterile tubed cotton swab, essentially, swab the inside of whomever that we need to get it from, their cheek.
Okay. And you thereafter place it in a container like this?
That's correct.
And after you place it in the container, do you seal it?
Then I take it to property and evidence, and my involvement is complete.
And in this particular case, with relation to State's Exhibit 10 and State's Exhibit 11, did you subsequently submit them into evidence?
That's correct.
Your Honor, at this time, the State would move into evidence State's Exhibit 10 and State's Exhibit 11.
No objection.
Big shout out to the Squeegee of Justice
Number 10, number 11.
from Trial TV Live. Thank you very much for this. Appreciate you your willingness to let us use this.
I have no further questions for you. Thank you so much.
You cross. Ms. Jackson, you said that you were working now as a paralegal,
That's correct.
and you said in the Lawrence Attorney's Office?
Lawrence County Attorney's Office, yes, sir.
What is that, the solicitor's office, or what is that?
No, so the Lawrence County Attorney, the county attorney will work more on civil matters, and he represents the county.
Okay. I don't know if Mr. Hoffman asked you this. If he did, I apologize. When was this sample taken?
It was taken on October 13th, the day that I responded.
Okay. I've got nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you read your right?
Nothing to say.
Chris, I'm probably
No
gonna,
objection.
No objection.
I'm probably going to jump out of my skin the first time you talk in my ears here.
All right, this time the state would call Master Deputy John Garrett.
Thank you, Kenneth, and congratulations on your, I think, what was that, 13 months? 15 months. 15. Thank you. Appreciate your support.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Jonathan Garrett.
We might need that as well, Chris.
Master Deputy Garrett, that's your current rank, Master Deputy?
That or investigator.
Investigator. Okay. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
I know we brought it out there, but where are you currently employed?
Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And what role specifically?
I'm a homicide investigator.
Okay. Were you employed with the Sheriff's Office back in October of 2021?
I was.
Okay. And what role? Was it same?
I was a homicide investigator. Then
Okay. Were you involved in the present case specifically on October 13th of 2021?
I was.
Okay. Did you respond to the scene at 122 Canebrake?
I did.
And when you were responding to the scene, what specifically was your role there? What were your priorities in responding to the scene?
I was at the law enforcement center at the homicide office when the call came in, and officers, or other investigators and officers were already at the scene. So before I left, I was tasked with obtaining the search warrant for the scene at 122 Canebrake.
Okay. And so on getting that search warrant, do you thereafter go through the scene?
Yes, I do.
The house, I mean.
Correct. And once I obtained it, I delivered it to the scene and responded for any other duties they were requested.
Okay. What were your observations of the scene at the time that you went through it?
When I got there, the road was blocked off, probably a block or two on each side by patrol vehicles, yellow crime scene tape, and we also had personnel blocking intersections and protecting the scene around 122.
Okay. And so going through the house, what were your observations there specifically?
I didn't do that until later that evening. I was there for hours. Crime scenes was processed and documented the scene. So I was waiting for another task, and I was documenting information where other investigators were going door to door looking for like video surveillance and things like that. But I didn't have another task until later in the afternoon. I did a secondary search, or later, it was hours later, almost at dusk, to go to the crime scene.
So that would be after the technicians go through, collect what they deem necessary?
Yes.
Okay. So at the time you went through the scene, were you able to identify or collect anything at that time?
Yes. I was with the investigator's department at the time in a white clear plastic bag with a white powder substance in the living room near the front door.
Okay, you said the living room. Was the living room the same room that Ms. Parcell was found?
That's correct.
Okay. If I showed you a picture of that substance, would you recognize it?
I would.
Okay.
Okay, he can recognize a white powder substance. I'll take a look. Thank you very much for this.
9 and State's Exhibit 37. Starting with State's Exhibit 37, what is that?
That's the clear plastic bag with the white powder substance I observed in the living room area that you spoke of.
Okay. And did you subsequently, and I don't want to say collected, but did you subsequently pick it up to identify it?
I did.
Okay. Showing you what State's Exhibit 9. Can you confirm for me that that is the bag that you picked up and identified?
It is.
Okay. So that's the position that you found that bag when you went to the house?
That's correct.
And then 9 is the actual bag.
That's it.
This time the state would move State's Exhibit 9 to evidence.
Which is 9? No, I don't have a problem with the photograph coming into evidence. I don't think the full foundation has been laid.
Objection
has been
foundation
completed for 9 in order to be entered into evidence.
I'm happy to continue later.
Number 37 comes into evidence, lay the foundation.
After collecting what is State's Exhibit 9, what did you do after that?
I conducted a field test on it to see if it was a controlled substance.
Why do you say, so in your first observations, you believed it to be a controlled substance?
Yes, sir. I had a previous assignment in narcotics for 14 years, and to me it appeared to be the way it was packaged and appeared to be a controlled substance.
Okay, so what occurred after you conducted a field test?
It did a presumptive test for cocaine with a field test.
After that field test was conducted, what did you do thereafter with it?
It was ultimately secured in the property and evidence section at the Greenville County Law Enforcement Center to be secured.
So it was thereafter submitted into evidence?
It was.
Your Honor, at this time the state would move into evidence what is State's Exhibit 9?
I just kind of again continue my objection. There hasn't been a full chain established yet throughout the continuation of where that evidence went. So until that happens, we would have an objection to it being entered.
Your Honor, a full chain doesn't need to be established at this point. This is the individual that collected State's Exhibit 9, conducted the initial, the field test of State's Exhibit 9. At this point, the foundation's been laid for whatever it may be to be introduced.
I agree. Your objection stands on the record.
After collecting what was State's Exhibit 9 during your time on the 13th at Canebrake, what other roles were you associated with there?
I did a secondary search later after other investigators searched the rooms, but I never found anything significant of evidentiary value.
Understood.
Chris says I can cover. You guys are confused with too many of me. So I'll cover Chris. Chris is gonna be hit.
Thank you, Investigator Garrett. I have no further questions for you.
Thank you. So what was the reason for going back into the residence later that day?
I was on another team we were assigned different rooms to search for evidence, and I can't remember the rooms I searched, but I think there were the living room, another bedroom, and there's multiple rooms in the residence. And groups had already searched, and then other investigators would search and cross and search behind them to make sure we didn't miss anything or just double check each room.
Do you know how many investigators and forensics technicians had already searched the house?
I don't. I know there were several out there, several investigators and a lot of forensic technicians, but I don't know the exact number.
Around what time was it when you and Investigator Sparkman went back in to do the subsequent search?
Dusk, around 6:30-ish.
Okay, and State's Exhibit 37, so you said this accurately portrays where that bag with suspected controlled substance was when you saw it?
It does.
That is before it was moved?
That's for as well.
I'm sorry, this is before any officers...
That's right, that's where forensics documented its original location.
And so it is clearly observable to somebody walking by?
Yeah, you can see it. It was pointed out pretty early, I think.
Okay, so had that already been known to have been there? Or did you find it?
It was already known. It was brought to my attention.
So somebody already told you that there's suspected controlled substance in there, and you went back to get it?
Yeah.
And so what you did with that bag then was you took it to the property and evidence room?
Eventually, yes, sir.
Okay, when would that have been? How much later?
It was that day. I think it was logged in on the 13th. Later that day, myself and Investigator Sparkman together did it.
Okay, you, Investigator Sparkman. Do you know who's, was it you, Investigator Sparkman, in the chain of custody?
Him. I was with him because I went and field tested before we took it. And therefore we gave me the item number JS4, Jerry Sparkman 4.
Okay.
The item number.
And do you know who got it out of the property and evidence room?
To be tested.
Let me just ask you what you're pulling out there to refresh your memory with.
Property and evidence sheet, which would document the chain of custody. Or actually the lab report. I don't have what Chemist, but it would have been brought out later, at a later date, to be positively identified by the forensic crime lab, but I don't know which chemist did it.
Okay, so would the chemist have come and gotten it, or did somebody else get it and take it to the chemist?
No, the chemist would come down. They would put in a request saying it wanted to be analyzed, and then the chemist would come from the lab, pick it up out of property evidence, and take it back to the lab.
Okay, so you don't know who the chemist was?
I do not.
Is the cocaine missing?
So you don't know who then had that State's Exhibit number 9 after you?
I don't.
Did you bring it to court today?
I did not.
Do you know who brought it to court today?
Not exactly. I could assume it would be the lead investigator, okay. Investigator Sparkman.
Do you know who gave it to Investigator Sparkman?
In property evidence, I do not.
Okay. Just a couple other questions. Did you have any other involvement in the case after the 13th?
Yes, I obtained another search warrant for 2 Tyndall Avenue.
Okay, and when did you write your report?
I wrote it months earlier, but it wasn't finalized until October 2024. It was a rough draft. It did not get processed.
What does being processed mean?
Clear through the what we call our Code 5, an incident report system, where it's set in limbo for a time as a draft before it was approved.
Okay, when was it approved?
October 15, 2024.
2024. Was that after you met with the prosecutor's office to prepare for trial?
I'm not sure if that's when we did or not. I can't recall when we met. But it was close to that because we're doing an inventory of what needed to be done, and this is one thing that needed to be done.
For finalizing the report?
That's correct.
One moment, please. Thank you. Nothing further.
Anything else? I was going to say,
skip ahead.
Push your left hand.
There we go. Next witness is up.
Okay. Push your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, right. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay.
Please state your name for the record. Kristen Marie McCall. Good afternoon.
Could you please tell the jury where you're currently employed and what your role is there?
I work for Greenville County Department of Public Safety, the Forensics Division.
Okay. And what specifically do you do for the Forensics Division?
I work in drug analysis.
Okay. And could you break down a little bit about what is drug analysis? I know for some of us, but what is drug analysis?
So in my job, I'm a forensic chemist. So officers may pull a suspect over or arrive on a scene and there's suspected drugs there. So they collect them from the suspect and then they submit them for property and evidence for analysis. Sometimes on the TV shows you may see that they do a chemical color test and then they put it on top of the hood. Well, that's giving them an indication of what they're looking at. But a problem is sometimes that can give false positives, such as cocaine and benzocaine will both give you the same color test. So that's important why those drugs come to us, because we confirm or we not confirm what the officer thinks it is.
Okay. And what is your background there as far as education and how you landed in that role with the Sheriff's Office?
Before I worked in forensics with the Department of Public Safety, I worked 13 years as a pharmacy technician, and then I also did 2 years at family court, and then I have 10 years currently with the forensics division. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Biology, minor in Chemistry, and a Master's in Pharmacogenomics from the Manchester School of Pharmacy.
And you may have said this, and I apologize for saying it again, but how long have you been in your current role with the Sheriff's Office?
I've worked for Greenville County Department of Public Safety. We're separate from the Sheriff's Office.
Oh, see, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we have, I've been there for 10 years, and before that I worked 2 years in family court.
Okay. And in your current position, it's fair to say it primarily consists of you processing and analyzing these substances that are submitted to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Suspected controlled substances.
And approximately how many cases a month do you process?
I would say in a year, I'll do over 10,000 cases.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time the state would move to qualify Ms. McCall as an expert in drug analysis.
Thanks, counsel.
I've got no objection.
Okay. The court will find her qualified pursuant to the agreement of the parties in drug analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, an expert witness is a person, or normally a person cannot give an opinion, but an expert witness is allowed to. And so when a person testifies, normally they must testify as to either what they saw, they heard, or sensed by smell. However, we do have an exception when someone is qualified because of education or experience, and they are permitted to give their opinion in certain areas the court qualifies, in which the court qualifies them. And this witness will be qualified in the area of drug analysis to give an opinion testimony in the area. However, that does not mean that you must accept the opinion, but it is evidence for you to use in any way you see fit and give it the weight and credibility that you believe is appropriate. Please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McCall, are you involved, how are you involved in the present case?
Well, I don't really read the background on all the cases that we get because we get so many in. Currently, our backlog is 7 months behind. So I got a subpoena. And then I had a pre-trial meeting with the solicitors, and that is how I became involved, that this was going to be going to court.
Okay, let me get more specific. Were you charged with processing any substances as it relates to this case?
I was involved with this case because the officer requested it to be analyzed because I'm assuming at scene he thought it was a controlled substance, so he went to property and evidence, put the evidence there, and put a lab request with it. And then I go down to property and evidence and I say, can I have some drugs? And they hand me sometimes 60 cases of drugs, and I have to go through every single one of them and analyze them. And then I write a report, and then the report goes out to the different parties that are involved in the case.
Okay. If I showed you a specific item, would you be able to confirm whether or not you conducted any testing on it for this case?
Yes, because when I receive my stuff, I make sure it's sealed by the officer, and if it's not, it goes back down to property and evidence because you want to make sure your evidence is sealed because that means that somebody could have tampered with it. So if it was open, I take it back down to property and I say, I'm not working this item, you need to get the officer to fix this. So when it gets fixed, I will go back down there and I will get the item, and I'll come back to the lab and I'll do a chemical test that gives me an idea of what I'm looking at, and then I do 2 confirmatory tests, which is a FTIR and a GCMS analysis.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 9 that's currently in evidence. Showing you State's Exhibit 9 there.
Okay.
Showing you what?
Could you confirm whether or not that's the item that you did testing for specifically for this case?
Okay. Should I leave it down here? Am I allowed to bring it out?
You can.
Okay. Okay. Yes. This is my item.
How do you know that?
I know that because I have a date when I worked it, and then there are my initials, and then here's a date when I opened the officer's bag that he sealed it in, and then after I weighed it, here is the weight of the item and then the item. So my initialing is all over this bag.
Okay. Did you create a report that indicated your findings as to what that substance was?
I did.
Okay. And what did you determine that substance to be?
Your Honor, I would object from the standpoint, Rule 901, for the purpose of authentication of the exhibit, the state has to establish from beginning to end, because it's fungible, who handled it, what they did with it. The probative value of her opinion as it relates to the nature of that substance is nil, because there's been no chain of custody established, no full chain of custody established as to what happened from the time it was seized until the time this witness testified. So with that, we would object pursuant to 403.
And I would overrule, and your objection is noted. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I can ask the question again.
Yes, sir.
What were the results of any testing you conducted on State's Exhibit 9?
So after the test is, after we analyze the substance, I create a report and it goes through peer review, which is that one of my peers have to look at my results and we have to agree that we both agree that this substance is what it is. So when he has a state exhibit, I have an item of JS4 and it was described as a bag containing powder substance when I received it. But when I work my cases, I take everything out of the bag because weight is very important when you're looking at charges for individuals. So I did create a report, and here it is.
Okay. And what did you determine? Did you determine that that item is a controlled substance?
I did determine that this item is a controlled substance, yes.
And what controlled substance?
Cocaine, 4.97 grams.
Okay. Can you speak a little bit, and I realize, it's extremely complex, and you spoke about it a little bit, but what type of testing you do to break down that finding?
Yes, so at first I do a chemical spot test, like I said, like you watch on the shows, just to give you an idea. You get a color change. You're like, okay, like blue, maybe benzocaine, cocaine, procaine. So in this instant, I got this bag containing powder substance, took it out of the bag, weighed it. That 4.97 grams is the net weight, not the gross weight. Then after that, I ran it on an FTIR, and that basically puts light through the drug so it vibrates and then you can see it. But the problem in this case is that the FTIR is only good for pure substances. It's not good with cutters. So sometimes when people sell drugs, they like to bulk up what they have, so they put other things in it. Say they might put procaine. They might be procaine, cocaine, and benzocaine in there, but I'm looking for that cocaine. FTIR, I cannot see it. So I have to take it to another instrument called the GCMS, gas chromatograph mass spectrometer, and it will separate out each individual ones. So if you go to your house and you take 5 different pills and you crush them all up and it's a white substance and that comes to me, I can tell you everything that you put in there.
Okay.
So closed caption,
I know
cannot keep up
you spoke to it earlier, but how many times, ballpark, have you analyzed cocaine specifically in your current role?
Oh my goodness. I've been working 10 years and we do over 10,000 cases. I would say in Greenville, methamphetamines, number 1, cocaine and fentanyl. Cocaine's probably fentanyl's probably coming in at number 2, and cocaine's probably coming in at number 3. So not as often as it has been in the past. It's just your drug trends of what people are doing.
Safe to say hundreds of times?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay. What would you say as to the quality of the cocaine, the State's Exhibit 9 in this particular case?
Well, I can say after the analysis, it did have cutters in it. So usually when we analyze cocaine or cocaine base, which is crack, we can use the FTIR because it's usually a pure substance. But in this case, I couldn't see that backbone of the drug, so I had to take it to the GCMS. So it did have other substances in it. So I can't tell you a number on purity, but I can tell you that there were other substances in it.
At least to the extent that you had to do subsequent testing.
I had to do a subsequent question, yes.
I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cross-examination. You said you worked in the family court?
Yes, sir.
What did you do in the family court?
I took payments and I translated in the courtroom. People picked up on bench warrants for child support.
Hang on.
You translated, do you speak another language?
Yes, sir.
What language do you speak?
Spanish.
All right. I wish.
Hold on. Let me see. I think I'm playing this too fast, and she talks fast already. I might need to slow this down just a smidge. a smidge, just a riffle. Let's see. No, I think it's being watched at 1.25, so I think that's why. So I think we're good. We'll just leave it where it is. But it should just say what kind of warrant. I don't think it was bench. It was a different kind. We're going to listen to that again.
Translated in the courtroom.
Okay.
People picked up on bench warrants for child support.
You translated, do you speak another language?
Yes, sir.
What language do you speak?
Spanish.
All right. I wish I could do that.
Okay.
So, just a few questions.
Yes, sir.
You said that you roughly process or handle 10,000 cases a year. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of cases.
It is. We have a quota we have to make every month.
Okay. What's that quota?
100.
Drinks tell truth.
Wow, you're way above that. So, and you don't work 7 days a week, do you?
No, I work Monday through Friday.
Okay. Just kind of interesting. At 10,000 cases a year, would it surprise you if you worked every single day of the year, you would on average test 27.3 cases a day?
Yeah. Just sometimes there's single item cases, and you're talking about an 8-hour day. So we set up a whole run.
Wow. That's a lot of samples to test.
It is.
You ever make a mistake?
Okay. 1 second.
Yes, sir.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, anything else from the state? Nothing from the state, Your Honor. You may step down. Thank you.
I think, sir.
She talks
No
really,
objection.
really fast. So she's done. This next witness, listen hard. See if you can hear the name. Yeah. What was the last soundbite we needed? Give me some drugs.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Milagros Miracalo.
Milagros Miracolo. What we know about this next witness is she is a neighbor, and that's all we know. So she doesn't spell her name for us, and we just have to.
Place your left hand on the Bible.
Yeah.
Raise your right hand.
Let's go with this.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please be seated. Please state your name for the record.
Milagros Maracayo.
Ms. Miracalo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Where do you currently live?
My address is 133 Cambridge Drive.
Were you living, how long have you lived there?
Around 9 years.
9 years. So you were living there throughout 2021?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the crime that occurred in October of 2021 on Cambridge Drive?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you a little bit about your home there. At the time in 2021, did you have cameras around your home?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know approximately how many?
I think like 7 cameras around my house.
Okay. And on October 13th or thereabouts of 2021, did law enforcement come to you specifically?
Yes, they went to my house.
Okay. And what were did they ask about some cameras?
Yes, they asked about if I have some camera available.
Okay. Did you give them access to your cameras?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did they take footage from your cameras from that day?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Have you had the opportunity prior to trial to review footage from your cameras that day?
After they did it, yes, I was looking for.
Okay. If I showed you the USB of that footage, would you recognize it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 15. State's Exhibit 15. Is that your...
Yeah, this is my shelter.
Yes. Okay, so you had a chance to review that footage?
Yes.
And it's accurate from that day?
Yes.
From your home?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state removes from the evidence State's Exhibit 15.
Thank you. As the gavel drops, another great partnership we have here on this channel is with the Discord page As the Gavel Drops. Highly recommend it.
Mayor Powell, thank you so much. I have no further questions for you.
Okay.
Cross. Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
I think your jacket does say milk or Millie. Millie? Found that morning, probably within a couple hours.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Peyton Sellers.
All right, here we go. This helps when your neighbors have security camera footage or Ring cameras. Helps to solve crimes. Do your part, get a camera. You too could testify in court for 5 minutes. Oh. Discord's now on X. Yay. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to skippity doodah.
Please stop at the end of the bench. Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Donald Peyton Sellers.
Mr. Sellers, good afternoon.
Almost did a fit check.
Could you tell the jury where you currently live?
207 Saratoga Drive.
Okay, and how long have you lived there?
Since 2009.
Okay.
Quick with that.
So safe to say you were living there in 2021.
That's correct.
And for the jury, approximately, are you familiar with a crime that occurred in the Canebrake neighborhood on October 13th of 2021?
I am aware.
Are you familiar with the residence 122 Canebrake? At least where it is?
Yes, drive past it occasionally.
Okay. Approximately how far from your residence is 122 Canebrake?
So I think there's 380 something homes in the Canebrake neighborhood. I'm on Saratoga, which is on the other side of the neighborhood, I would call it.
Okay, so ballpark.
Probably about 4 streets away.
Okay, less than half a mile?
Sure.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to meet with law enforcement after that incident, October 13th of 2021?
Yeah, I think it was October 21st. A deputy came by the house and asked if they could have footage from our camera.
Okay, so you had cameras on your house at the time?
I did.
Okay. And in meeting with law enforcement, did you provide them with footage that they were requesting or looking for at that time?
I did. I think I emailed Deputy Barnett a link to all the footage from that day.
Okay. And to your knowledge, all the footage there was accurate and represented what it recorded that day?
Yeah, it was just pulled directly from the desk cam and submitted directly to the deputy.
Got it. Did you have a chance to review that specific footage prior to today's trial?
Yes.
Okay. If I showed it to you, would you recognize your initials?
I would.
I'm showing you what is State's Exhibit 12.
Yep.
Are those your initials on State's Exhibit 12?
Yes, it is.
And what's contained on here accurately represents the footage that you provided to law enforcement from that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit 12.
No objection, Your Honor.
Without objection. Mr. Sellers, I have no further questions for you. Thank you so much.
Any cross? Just a few questions. Mr. Sellers, so you say you're about 4 streets away, somewhere around a half mile away?
I mean, I would call it the other side of the neighborhood, yes.
And you've been made aware that the incident was on 10/13 of 2021, right?
That's correct.
And had you spoken to any law enforcement officers between October 13th of 2021 and October 21st of 2021 when you turned over the video?
No, not until the deputy came to my door.
Okay. Had you looked at those cameras to see if there was anything of significance prior to the officers talking to you?
No, sir. I had no idea what they were looking for at the time. They just asked me to submit the date's footage, and I did.
Okay. So you were just asked to give them all the footage from this one particular day?
That's correct.
Do you remember from how early until how late?
It was, basically the officer came to my door on the 21st of October of 2021, and I submitted pretty much the entire day's footage from the October 13th.
And the way you gave it to them was by email?
By email, correct. I emailed a link that gave them the full width of footage that they were looking for, and I think it was just, they said, give me as much as you can, and I gave it the entire date range.
Okay. I think that's all I have. One moment. No more questions. Thank you.
Anything else? Nothing to say. You may step down. Thank you.
Your Honor, the state would call Stacy Rushing.
Okay, just I got confirmation that Ivan's safe and no one was seriously injured in the fire. I'm not sure what else he wants shared, so I'll leave the rest to him. But he's okay. Just want to let you guys know. Jana, I'm serious. Text me. I'd be happy to explain. You have a valid question. If you can text the burner phone or call it, I'd be happy to explain all of that. I think you'll find it funny and enlightening. There was a fire at Ivan's company at his wood, his sawmill. Or Jana, if you don't want to, I can just explain on chat for everybody. Jana was asking about how I support myself through YouTube on the channel and saying how now you mentioned lobster dinners and renovating your home.
You stop at the end of the bench. Place your left hand on the bar.
I'll pause for a second. My home was built in 1915. The renovations I'm doing is because the bathroom floor was literally collapsing with water damage under the joists, which we had to replace. I'm doing it all myself because I can't afford to have labor come in and do it. I'm not asking for money. I'm truly blessed to be able to support my family through YouTube. I love it. I am nowhere near where Peter Tragos is. I did mention that to my wife. That's how I convinced her to let me do this. The lobster dinner, we've talked about that because I've never had lobster before in my life. And at Valentine's Day, we're hoping to be able to try it for the first time. So, but if you have any other questions, I am happy to answer them. I really am.
Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Please be seated. Please state your name for the record.
Oh, Stacy Rushing.
Ms. Rushing, good afternoon. Where do you currently live?
116 Canebrake Drive in Greer.
And how long have you lived there?
About going on 6 years now.
Okay, so you're living there in 2021?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a crime that took place on 122 Canebrake on October 13th of 2021?
Yes, I am.
And I know you're on the same street, but approximately how close to 122 Canebrake is your residence?
They're 3 houses down.
Okay.
I'm okay with her question. I really am.
Reach out to you
please be nice to Jana.
Looking for potentially video footage regarding that?
I think it's a legitimate thing to ask.
Do you have videos on your residence?
Yes.
Or cameras, I should say.
I do.
Did you turn over to law enforcement any materials or videos related to that day?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you have a chance to review them at any point?
Yes.
And if I showed you that USB, would you recognize your initials on it?
Yes, I would.
Okay. I'm showing you what it states Exhibit 13. Are those your initials on there?
Yes, those are mine.
So did you have a chance to review the contents of this USB?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, is it accurate and represent events that took place that morning?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Your Honor, this time...
We've got 3 videos now we haven't seen yet.
No objection, Your Honor.
Which we hope to see. All the neighbors had cameras.
Ms. Rushing, thanks so much. I have nothing else for you.
Okay, thank you.
Upset baguette. Yeah. That was for my gardener. Upset baguette. He needed the Maserati. Okay, three good neighbors, 3 quick witnesses, no cross-examination by the defense. I'm going to try lobster.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Emily Brunson.
Here's a big hat as this guy. It worked so well for, what was his name in Vegas? The politician guy. Oh, name's on the tip of my tongue. I repair my own riding lawnmower. That was the one thing, the perk I got when I moved here. I said, if we move here, I need a riding lawnmower. And Mrs. R.A. let me get it that first summer. Just still don't have my motorcycle back or my kayak. Those were lost. Robert Tellis, yes. Orange vest, a distinctive gait, and a huge sombrero. That was his murder disguise.
Please stop at the end of the bench. Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, thank you. Please be seated.
Yes, I can afford just wasting all that electricity.
Emily Brunson.
Ms. Brunson, where do you live?
Where did I live or where do I now?
Where do you currently reside?
100.
Well,
Back in
I muted it,
October
but the
of
text gives it away.
2021, where were you living?
At 121 Cambridge Drive.
And where is that in location to where the murder of Christina Parcell occurred?
Right across the street.
And during that day, did you have the occasion to talk to law enforcement about some ring camera footage?
I did.
And about when did you talk with them about possible ring camera footage?
It's like maybe 2 hours after everything happened.
And how long had you owned a ring camera?
We got it the Christmas before, so Christmas 2020.
And was it functioning properly on October 13th?
It was.
Do you know how often it would cut on or cut off? Was there something unique about this ring camera?
It was triggered by cars going down the road, and it was very annoying.
So with that, did you receive notices of when your ring camera cut on?
Yes, every time.
And did you receive the actual footage of it?
Yes.
And so were you receiving a lot of footage?
Constantly, yes.
So whenever a car would pass by, it would cut on?
It would.
Okay. Did you have the occasion to give ring footage to law enforcement that day?
We did.
Okay. And have you reviewed that footage?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 14 and ask you if that is your initials.
That is my initials.
All right. And is this the footage from your ring camera that you reviewed?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of what that ring camera shows?
Yes.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 14 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
Without objection, number 14 comes into evidence. That's all I have, Your Honor.
No cross.
There are no questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. You may step down. Thank you, ma'am.
Reolink makes some nice cameras, and their price point is right in my budget. They're on the cheaper end of outside cameras, but they have pan-tilt zoom, power over Ethernet. They have some good
Your Honor, the
features.
State would call Harvey Shropshire.
We're flying through these witnesses. These are neighbors. At one point, we're going to see these videos, I'm sure.
Please place your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm
We're going to see the videos, not the
witnesses?
witnesses.
Nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thanks. Please.
It's good to know.
Please state your name for the record.
Harvey Shropshire. Shropshire spelled S-H-R-O-P-S-H-I-R-E.
Agent Shropshire, with whom are you employed?
South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or SLED.
And how long have you been with SLED?
25 years total, 31 years in total.
Congratulations. And what are your main duties for SLED?
I'm a tech agent.
Okay, what is a tech agent?
One part of my jobs is audio and video enhancements.
Hey, I like this guy already.
For SLED?
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell this jury how that works.
Well, what we do in tech services, once we had that part of the division, is whomever, has to be local law enforcement or federal, we bring the product to us and we input that information into the computer to a format in which it's recognized.
Okay. And are you basically working enhancement software?
Yes, sir.
And have you had any special training on that enhancement software?
Yes, sir.
What type of training?
Through the company that we use is the computer system adjudicated. They send us off to Cary, North Carolina for training.
And how long is that training?
Well, it's ongoing, yearly software update. And once you get your certification, you certify to enhance video and audio through the system.
And what are the abilities of this software?
It's only enhanced what's given to us. We can't change anything. Matter of fact, when someone brings us a video, we dump it into the system, we get the original back to whomever brings it to us, and we enhance while they're there, tell us what they need and want. And we enhance it from a still shot, and also we put it on a CD or DVD form.
And then is that what you return back to law enforcement who requests it?
Yes, sir.
Is it typically requested by law enforcement that you assist them in enhancing some sort of video?
Only law enforcement. We don't do it for the general public. Yes, sir.
And does it matter where the video came from? If it came from a Ring camera or a Nest camera or any of the like, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Whatever format they bring it to us. If it's analog or digital, we dump it into the system. Of course, we got to have a means of dumping into the system. Through a VHS tape, we put it into the system, and it converts into a format we can enhance.
Okay. So in this particular case, did law enforcement request you to enhance some videos?
Yes, sir.
And did you do that for them?
Yes, sir.
Already admitted into evidence is videos of 121 Canebrake, 133 Canebrake, 207 Saratoga, and 116 Canebrake.
Yes, sir.
Did you have the occasion to dump those items into your system and assist law enforcement in enhancing those?
Yes, sir. And once we dump it into the system, whatever we finish, we always put it on a CD or a DVD, and we mark it and give it back to whatever department brings it to us.
I'm going to show you some, and can you create stills enhancement from video?
Yes, sir, we can.
And how do you do that with this video?
The system, we make sure our system's never on the network, so no one can have access to it. Only the persons who are there to enhance the video. So once we do that, we have a printer that's set up for the particular enhancement machine, and we print it from there and give it to whoever needs it.
We just hit print screen.
And so you print them out right there?
Yes, sir.
And that's the enhanced part of the video?
Yes, sir.
So you can, I guess, see deeper into the picture,
right, in
essence?
And also, we also give those printed videos or printed still shots onto that same media, so that officer will have that same stuff too as well. He or she also go print.
And then they take that yes, media
sir.
With them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked as...
You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try to show you anyway.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as
professional
16,
video editing
17,
board.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
That key says dump. That key says dump. It's a technical term. And now my keyboard's all dusty. I just showed you. That's embarrassing. I used the phrase dump earlier today. Dump is what happens when you dump something to timeline. It's transferring it from the stock footage to the finished.
And so, what did you do with State's Exhibit 14 that you would do in your computer?
Well, first, when we download the information to the computer, the officer who's there that needs the information, we comb through all the different video shots or some cases still shots, and he said, well, this is the point of interest here. So I take the point of interest and actually magnify what's there. I can't change anything. I can't add anything to it. I can magnify what's there by zooming in on it, putting a highlight on it, like you see them circles on there, things of that nature.
All right, so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 16 as well. Describe what you did on that one in particular.
Well, one of the things we try to do is, if we have a person of interest, if you can get the video and comb it and follow it to where he or she is going to get some type of identifying marks off the person. In some cases like this, when there's a long distance like this, we tell that person, whoever the police officer is, hey, this guy's of a certain height or a certain build, whereas he and she can go back to wherever the crime has happened, he can mark it and pinpoint how tall that person is. We do the same thing when it comes to bank robberies as well. We try to get to him in the doorway to figure out how tall he is or how wide he or she is.
And so in this case, did you enhance a particular area?
Yes, sir. The front doorway, you can see the individual with a white sweatshirt, appeared to be a white sweatshirt on, and it looked like a backpack.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibits 16 through 23 into evidence.
Here we go.
Already viewed that.
Finally.
We do not have an objection.
No objection. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 come in as State's exhibits that come into evidence.
All right, Agent Shropshire, I'm going to ask you about State's Exhibit 15. That would be 133 cane brake. Was that taken down to you for enhancement as well?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Ask you to take a look at those and see if those are the stills that you assisted law enforcement in enhancing.
I don't have the T-bar, but I do have the fader slider right over here. It does the same thing.
Yes, sir.
And are those the photos that you were asked to enhance off that video cameras that you received?
Yes, sir.
Are they true and accurate representations? And where did you focus your enhancement on these particular on exhibits 24 through?
On the individual on the bicycle, because it's not known for a person to ride a bicycle with a face mask on. So I try to get, it's a pretty tall bike. I'm 6'5" myself, so the person had to be a good sized person. So I try to get some type of features of the person, individual riding the bike, say for the mask he had on, and also he was dressed in all black.
So Harvey tried to ride the bike?
State moves exhibits 24 through 30.
I'm sorry, that's my blood meter. I'm sorry, sir. That's somebody. I thought it was turned off. It's still ringing. I'm sorry.
24 through 30, Your Honor.
Busted.
Make sure I got them right.
It's not common for somebody to wear a mask when they're riding a bike. I've seen people do it in areas especially that have pollution. Especially if you're riding on a busy road. It's amazing how many little pieces of rubber tire get kicked up. Little tiny pieces.
State's exhibits 24 through 30 come into evidence.
And then I'm going to refer you to State's Exhibit 12, where you asked to enhance photos on that particular ring camera.
Yes, sir.
And that is 207 Saratoga. I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 31 through 36.
I'm still hoping that we'll get to see these.
You assisted law enforcement in enhancing.
Before the day's over.
Yes, sir. Point of interest, yes, sir.
And how did you? And I noticed there's a circle around it. Is that part of your software to help enhance it?
Yes, sir. It is. Right. What it does, we tell the computer to zoom in on the moving object, and once we zoom in on it, in some cases, if the sun is shining directly on the camera itself, we try to even the playing field, you might say, make it so that it's like it's normal. And that's what we did at that point in time, is put a circle around it, because the sunlight itself was almost blinding the camera.
So, Mr. Agent Shropshire, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 16. This is a good test run. To this jury, and Agent Shropshire, you don't know anything about this case.
No, sir, I don't.
All right, and so I want you to talk about the circle and the enhancement.
When we get cases in from all different departments, we really have a ball in the game. That's why we say we bring the officer in and tell us what he or she wants when we do these enhancements. And this is one of the cases where you got the camera shooting from a dark spot into a light spot to another dark spot, which is across the street. So we put the enhancement, we tried to put focus on the individual that's in the doorway by using light and darkness of the enhancement system itself.
All right. If you'll answer any questions, defense counsel.
Yes, sir.
For you. No questions for this witness. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right, sidebar. Quick sidebar. Let's see. Making good time.
I am.
There we go. Jury just got kicked out.
We're going to take a short break, and then I anticipate 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will resume testimony for the remainder of the afternoon. Okay? Thank you again.
Oh, we've got a scam call. Perfect timing. Hang on. Hello? 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 Oh, man. That was a good voice, too. All right. Let's skip ahead.
We're going
There's
to
Chris.
Technician. She took the buccal swab from Bradley Post. Cross was the she was.
Okay, let's see. There's our break. End of the break. Judge is smiling kindly at the jurors as they come back in. Yes.
Sean, the state calls Donna Gorman.
Chart. They have a chart. Just waiting for the witness.
To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you. Please be seated.
I don't have their chart yet. I'll see if I can get him to send it to me.
Oh, thank you. No.
He's on another live stream right now.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Donna Gorman.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Gorman, can you tell this jury where you reside?
117.
Where do you reside?
And how long have you lived there?
15 years.
15 years. And so you were living there on October 13th, 2021?
We were.
And do you remember that day?
I do.
And before we ask you about that day, did you know Christina Parcell?
No.
Had you ever talked to her or seen her?
No, I've seen her, but I never talked to her.
And did you know where she lived?
Yes.
At that point? Where did she live?
122.
Okay. And where is your house in relation to 122?
Like 3 away, on the opposite side of the street.
Okay. And so that morning of October 13th, 2021, what were you doing?
Having my morning coffee.
Is that what you typically do every morning?
Because my husband has just gone back to work.
And are you currently working?
No.
Are you retired?
We're all retired.
Congratulations. So that morning, where do you usually take your morning coffee?
At the kitchen table. By the window.
By the window. And the window that you're referring to, what does it look out onto?
The Canebrake Drive.
And is there a sidewalk that you can see?
Yes.
And if somebody were to walk or bike past you, would you be able to notice them?
Yes.
That morning, are you familiar with Christina Parcell's daughter?
Yes, I saw her taking her daughter to school that morning, walking.
So you saw Christina Parcell and her daughter?
That morning, yeah, going to school.
And how would they go to school and pass your house?
They walk up to the end of the street, the school's across the road.
Okay. And so about what time did you see them?
It was like 7:30.
7:30? Do you remember what Ayden was wearing that morning?
No.
Did she have a backpack on?
Yes.
All right, and so you saw that from your kitchen table? Is that what you said? Yes. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 108, and I ask if you recognize that photo.
I do.
What is that?
That's my plant.
That's your plant?
That's my side window that goes out to Canebrake, which is right here.
And is that the view you have from where you were sitting that day?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate depiction of the view you had on that morning?
Exactly, yes.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 108 into evidence.
No objection. 108 comes in without objection.
All right, if I can. Yay. Do you see that photo, Ms. Gorman? And is that, so if you, in that photo, about where were you sitting on the closest part of that photo looking towards the plant?
I was sitting facing this way. And I was looking out that way.
Okay. And looking out the window right there? Mm-hmm. And out the window, is that Canebrake
it is.
Right there?
It is.
So you testified that you saw Ayden and Christina walk past you towards school. Mm-hmm. And around 8:15, were you still sitting there at your thing?
I was.
At your seat, at your table. Did you see anything of interest that day?
Yeah, I saw somebody on a bicycle.
All right, and so tell this jury what you would have seen from that vantage point right there.
There was a guy on a bicycle right here, just in all black with put a mask on his face.
So where about, and so I see those two trees in the photo. Where was he about where those two trees were?
Right in between them.
Right in between them. And you can see through your plant right there, mm-hmm. and see him? All right, and so can you describe the person that you saw and about what time it was?
He was tall and skinny. It was on a black bicycle. He was all dressed in black. I did say his sweatshirt was gray, but it was a hectic day that day, very scary, and it was all black. And I glanced over and saw him, and then I started to finish reading what I was reading. I looked up, and I didn't see him anymore.
So when you looked over and you saw him, was he wearing a backpack?
Yes.
Now, when you saw him for the first time, did he have anything on his face or his head or anything like that?
No.
And so, what color skin did he have?
White.
What color hair did he have?
Kind of like a reddish sandy color hair.
Okay. And were you able to see his face?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
Mm-hmm.
How would you see his face?
Because he kind of turned and then turned back.
And did he have gloves on?
Yes.
Or so he was wearing gloves when you saw him?
Well, he was putting them on.
Okay, he's putting his gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he put his gloves on, what did he do?
I guess he got back on the bike and started riding, but he wasn't riding fast enough to get down Canebrake. When I looked back up, I didn't see him anymore. I didn't see him go in or come out.
Now, did he put a mask or anything on before he left your vantage point?
Yes.
What did he put on?
A white mask.
And
a hat.
And a hat?
Well, the hood.
A hood? Or?
The hood on his coat.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 24.
What did
Do you
just
recognize, let me ask you this, is the person that you just described to this jury look like the person in that photo right there?
Yes.
How so?
It just does.
Is it the same color bike? Is it the same clothes?
She's nodding.
I need you to respond.
Yes, it's just scary.
Is it the same mask that you saw and put on? And is it the same type of hood or hat?
Yes.
Okay. And what about a backpack?
It's on there. It looks black.
Is that the same person that you saw that morning around 8:15?
Yes.
Ms. Gorman, you recognize that person in this courtroom?
Yes.
Will you point him out for me?
It's right there.
Are you pointing to the defendant?
He's right there.
No, let the record reflect that she's pointing to the defendant, Zach Hughes. Reflects that. Ms. Gorman, did you talk with law enforcement that day? Did they come and talk to you about this?
Oh, there was a lot of people that day, yeah.
And were you able to kind of see the activity going across over at 122 Canebrake?
Yeah.
Did you pay attention to it and watch what was going on?
Well, there was a lot of us out there.
Did you see Brad Post over there?
I saw him walking around over there, yeah.
Did you recognize him as well?
Yeah.
And do you know about how many law enforcement officers you talked to that day about what you saw?
I have no idea. There was so many. so many.
Ms. Gorman, if you'll just answer any questions defense counsel may have.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gorman.
Good afternoon.
My name is Andy Mormon. We've never met before.
No.
Just to be clear, Ms. Gorman, you said that you saw this person at around 8:15 on the morning of October the 13th. Is that correct?
That's right.
And you said that that person stopped and did a lot in front of your window. Just decided to stop right there.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilkins showed you a picture of a person in a white mask. Remember that?
Yes.
And you looked at that. You looked at that picture and you said, that's the white mask. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
You talked about, let me back up. If I understood your testimony, you said that you had seen Christina Parcell, but you never talked to her. Is that correct?
I never talked to her, no.
Right, but you had seen her.
I had seen her, yeah.
You also talked about seeing Brad Post. Is that right?
Yeah, in the driveway.
And isn't it true that Mr. Wilkins and Mr. Hofferth and then another police officer came to your home on October the 28th, 2024? Is that right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So more than 3 years after this happened, they came to your home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when they came to your home, did they tell you that there was a trial coming up?
They said they didn't know when.
But that there would be a trial?
There would be, yeah.
Right. And that's when they talked to you about things that happened more than 3 years earlier. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember in the conversation you had with them more than 3 years after this happened, telling them that you knew what Brad Post looked like because you had seen him at Christina's house? Do you remember that?
Yes. I saw him in the driveway, and then a few times going into her home when they were dating.
Okay. And it sounds like you sort of have your pulse on what's happening in the neighborhood. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
Some people have cameras and others just look out the window.
Yeah, I just watch out for people. I don't know. It's just an instinct I have always had.
No, I get it. So if you were looking out that window a good bit, I mean, isn't it true? Or you tell me, did you see Brad Post at that location a lot?
Not a lot, no, a couple times. But I did see him that day that unfortunate mishap happened.
But you saw him there enough where you felt like you knew what he looked like.
Yeah.
Would you see, you talked about Christina and her daughter, Ayden. You testified about that. Do you remember that earlier?
Yes.
You talked about how you would see them going to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you may please answer yes.
Yes.
Just to make it clear. And she went to Buena Vista, is that right?
Exactly, yes.
Which, and what time would she typically be home, come home?
2:30.
2:30 in the afternoon?
Yeah, they get home at 2:30.
She knows. She knows everyone's schedule. That's awesome. Sometimes you need a nosy neighbor to watch your back.
Isn't it true that the first time you told anybody in law enforcement what you saw was on... Or you tell me, did you meet with anybody in law enforcement to tell them what you saw that day before October the 28th?
There was a lot of them out there. Yeah, a lot of detectives, sheriffs, a lot of people talking to us.
Okay. But the first time you met with Mr. Wilkins and Mr. Hofferth was more than 3 years after this happened. Is that correct?
That's correct.
One second here.
All right. Defense wants to see if they want to push her any further on this. She said hat or hood. They haven't really addressed that. The picture looked like it was more of a hat. She said it was a coat hood that he put on. Maybe they can probe that a little bit, but She doesn't want to be here. She's going to look very relieved as soon as they say she can go.
Two more questions. In one of the exhibits, Mr. Wilkins showed you the person on the bicycle was wearing a hat. Is that correct?
Well, that was on the coat.
Okay. So is it your testimony that person was not wearing a hat, just a hoodie? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, she testified that way even after seeing a picture of him on a bike wearing a hat, not a hoodie.
You redirect. No redirect, Your Honor.
Ma'am, thank you. Being released.
So she's been consistent.
Counsel.
That goes.
Yes, we release her.
She's released. Okay.
Just walk that way. Thank you. All right.
Next witness. We're flying along here.
All right, thank you. The state calls Riley Stokes.
Riley Stokes.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
My name is Raleigh Stokes.
Raleigh, just like the city in North Carolina. Our capital. He made a choice about his tie as well.
Mr. Stokes, what's your rank?
Master Deputy.
Master Deputy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Want to make sure I get that right. Master Deputy Stokes, who do you work
Coastal
for?
Rocket
Greenville
Golf.
County Sheriff's Office.
Thanks for the raid.
And how long have you been there?
Since 2013.
And what have you done for the Greenville County Sheriff's Department?
Worked uniform patrol, K9, homicide, Master Deputy on uniform patrol, and I'm in CID now.
What is CID?
It is Criminal Investigation Division, and I'm assigned to the arson unit.
What does the arson unit do?
Investigate fires.
What does the arson unit do?
Those can be complex.
They can be.
Oh, you know.
Were
Computer
you
stuff.
involved in the investigation of the murder of Christina Parcell?
Yes.
How did you get involved in that murder?
At the time, in 2021, I was assigned to the homicide unit, and I was contacted while at the law enforcement center in the homicide office to respond to that location in reference to a death investigation.
And did you respond?
I did.
All right. About what time did you respond?
Roughly 11:30, around that time frame.
Was there a lot of manpower asked to come out there and assist in this investigation?
Yes, sir, there was.
So did you respond out to 113 Canebrake? I'm sorry, 122 Canebrake?
Yes, I responded to that location and assisted in blocking off the already roped off scene using my patrol vehicle at that time.
What did the scene look like when you got there?
Crime scene tape was already up, blocking off the roadway. The roadway was still open. However, there was nothing blocking the actual road, so that's why I used my patrol vehicle. And there were multiple investigators on scene, along with other uniform patrol deputies as well.
I'm going to ask you to just bring that microphone just a touch for us to make sure, I just want to make sure the jury can hear you.
Copy. Gotcha.
And so, so when you got there, what was the first thing you did when you got there?
I met with Investigator Sparkman, and I was tasked with starting the neighborhood canvass.
Okay. So Investigator Sparkman was lead investigator on scene.
Yes.
All right. And what was so were you delegated duties, I guess?
Yes, I was. As far as the neighborhood canvass, checking for security cameras within the immediate vicinity of the incident location.
All right. So two questions. One, what was the purpose of that? And two, how did y'all organize that?
So the purpose of that was to try and determine who was at the residence that morning, and then develop a timeline if we were able to do so. And can you repeat your second part of that question?
How did y'all organize it?
So I was tasked with actually being over the neighborhood canvass, and that being said, there was about 6 investigators total that assisted in that, and once they found cameras at certain houses, they would let me know where they were at, and we would go contact the homeowners and try to make contact with them.
And so, in assisting in the neighborhood canvas, did you come familiar with the Canebrake neighborhood?
Yes, very.
And how many houses do you think you canvassed that day?
Probably 25 to 30 myself.
And how would it work? Would you just knock on the door?
We would start by, we started at the incident location and realized there was a Ring doorbell directly across the street from 122, and that was located at 121. And from there, we circled out utilizing Canebrake Drive all the way down to Saratoga and around the entire neighborhood.
The displays are getting bigger. That's an exhibit.
All right, Master W. Stokes, I'm going to show you what State's Exhibit 107. I know it's kind of big and bulky. I'm going to hold it right here. Can you tell this jury what this is?
That is a map of the Canebrake subdivision.
All right. And is this an accurate depiction of the subdivision when you were canvassing it?
Yes, sir.
That day?
Yes, sir.
And I noticed there's addresses on here.
Yes.
As well. Do you recognize those addresses?
Yes, sir, I do.
Are those addresses points of interest?
They are.
And do you recognize those?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Is this a true and accurate description of the Canebrake neighborhood with those addresses?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 107 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. Number 107 comes into evidence.
We're going to need a bigger easel.
Right, so this jury can understand what y'all are doing. I think I'm showing my age by using an easel. I'm going to do my best. Is that right? That's right. Go on, walking around. Yeah, that's right. All right. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Sure. I'm trying to turn it. How about that? You can come over here. Sit over right there. You'll see. Sure. Thank you. You see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go over this map. If you'll tell this jury and kind of describe this map, can you see what road this is right here?
I cannot read the writing, but I know that's South Batesville Road.
And where is the entrance to Canebrake neighborhood?
If you see the green square that's parallel with South Batesville, just above it, about 6 inches, and that's Canebrake Drive right there.
And so where did Christina Parcell live?
At 122.
And is that right there?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. And so we were talking about a ring camera that you identified. And where was that first ring camera that you identified?
At 121 Canebrake, which is directly across and at an angle from the incident location.
All right. And did you ever talk to Donna Gorman?
I did.
What address did she live in?
Hers is 117, which is directly across from 116.
Is that right here?
It is.
Okay. And then I have 116 Canebrake.
Yes.
Were you able to find anything of significance at 116 Canebrake?
Yes, they did not have a ring camera. However, they did have cameras on the front side of their house near the gutter up high and on the front side of the residence.
Okay.
We're about to see these videos.
So I'm assuming your teams of officers are walking up and down Canebrake Avenue. Yep. And then what is this road that deads into?
It runs into Saratoga, which comes back around, and I'm not sure of the name that it runs into. It may change names at the end, but that's Saratoga Drive that Canebrake runs into.
All right. And so is that 207 Saratoga down there?
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And then this is 133 Canebrake?
Yes.
All right. What is the distance between this clump of houses and then 133 and 207?
From 116 to 207 would roughly be about a half a mile there, give or take a few hundred feet.
And so back to 121 Canebrake.
Okay.
You said you identified a Ring camera.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I met with the homeowner there, I believe his name is Chris, and he had multiple activations of his Ring doorbell camera. And staying there with him, we went through that, and there was multiple vehicles that went by and set off his activations. Well, in the process of doing this, we realized at 9:15 there was a car that passed. And when that car passed, you could see the front porch of 122. There was what appears to be a male stepping into the front door. And then it goes away because it's a short clip, motion activated, and there was no more motion from the road because the car had passed. We continued to backtrack, and we were able to see that at 8:07 that morning, Ms. Parcells' vehicle is leaving. And there's multiple other activations throughout this time frame.
All right. And you've reviewed the Ring camera at 121?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'm going to play for you State's Exhibit 14.
Okay.
Just did a little tweak to the color on here. My system was washing it out. Okay, here we go. Here's the video we've been waiting for.
All right, can you describe this to this jury, what you're seeing in the background there, and what caused the Ring camera to...
All right, so the white SUV that passed by activates the camera, and while watching this video, you see 2 points of motion. You see the vehicle first, and then in the background, you'll see the suspect, possible suspect, stepping into the front door. Looks like a gray sweatshirt, a backpack, and dark in color pants.
Now, have you reviewed stills of this video?
Yes, sir, I have.
So that it's happening right over here, like right above this. That's the area. That's the door, the black area in the house where the roof line drops down. That's where the figure appears.
So you heard Agent, you did not hear, but Agent Sled Agent Hropshire testified about enhancing these photos.
Right.
But when did y'all obtain this evidence in further to the investigation?
So I had been on scene probably 25 to 35 minutes, and as soon as I obtained this, I asked the homeowner, which is, I believe his name again was Chris, he emailed that to me, to my county phone, and I sent that to Sergeant Kelly with the Technical Services Unit with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office for reason being he could see that a lot better in his office on a large big screen TV. And he could give us more details other than watching this on cell phones on scene.
And would you consider this sort of a break in the case?
At this point, absolutely.
Why is that?
Because other than this, we were unsure of any suspect. This is the first sign of anything that we had was right here at this point.
So I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 16. And I'm going to have you kind of walk us through what we're seeing on these photos, okay?
Josh, that's super generous. He says he's going to give away 10 memberships if we get to 1,000 likes on the stream.
Of 122 of the initial Ring camera After the white vehicle had passed, that is the suspect standing on the front stoop, front porch, directly in front of the main entranceway of the home.
All right. And is there a car to the right there?
There is.
Did you determine whose car that was?
That was Miss Parcells, yes.
And that's 122 Cambridge, that's Miss Parcells' house?
Yes.
And what is that?
That is the same incident location, 122 Cambridge, with the suspect stepping onto the front steps. I believe that will be at the top of the steps onto the front porch. Same incident location.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the exhibit. That was exhibit 18. Exhibit 19.
He needs to push the enhance button again.
Will be directly after stepping onto the front porch.
Exhibit 20.
Be at the front door.
Taz, thank you very much.
21.
Opening the front door.
And exhibit 22.
He's stepping inside the residence.
I thought the front door was locked.
And I know we just reviewed the video. On the video, can you see the individual going inside?
Briefly, yes, right before it cuts off.
So, as part of your investigation and canvassing, are you also trying to establish a timeline as well?
Yes, sir.
And when reviewing the videos or the ring camera from across the street of Christina Parcells' house, did you discover any other times on there that were important to your investigation?
Yes. At that time, that was 9:15 when he had stepped in. So, backing up to a few other of the notifications that Mr. Chris had located, at 9:27, I'm misspeaking here. That 9:27 is for 133. We'll get to that in a minute. At 9:15, he is stepping in the house. She arrives at the home at 9:12. So just a few minutes prior, her vehicle is turning into the driveway.
Would it surprise you if it was about 9:07?
No, that would be
let's look at the video.
Okay.
All right. And so...
Man, my time's off, but it's right there.
In addition, were you able to see the comings and goings of Christina Parcells' car?
Yes.
Her sister Tina Parcells' car?
Yes.
And of course, you can see the arrival of Brad Post's car on,
yes, sir.
on Howard's Road. Okay, so let's take a look at those. So I'm showing you what states Exhibit 14. And it's approximately 8:06.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at 8:06, what kind of cars do you see at the Parcell home?
So there is a Lexus SUV and there's a silver sedan, which is the sister's vehicle.
Is that Tina Parcell?
Yes, it is. All right, this is at 8:11, and the only vehicle there is the sister. Her vehicle is in the driveway.
So, what did your investigation conclude based on that video?
Obviously, the victim in this case was no longer at her residence at that time.
At 8:11?
Yes.
And now what time is that?
That will be 8:35, and the silver sedan is fixing to start backing up, which will be the sister leaving.
And what time was that?
8:35.
So at 8:35, Tina Parcell's car.
Yep, her vehicle leaves, yes. And then this is where 9:12, the silver SUV is back in the driveway.
All right, so we know from this video
at this
that
time,
at least by 9:12,
yep.
Christina Parcell is back at her house.
Yes. And then 3 minutes later, the 9:15 video of the suspect stepping in comes into play.
going to show you what's marked as Exhibit 105.
Somebody turned out the lights. They just kicked the plug, maybe.
I'm going to show you what's State's Exhibit 105. Another big bulky exhibit. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is this?
So this is the 3 stills that we looked at just a few moments ago, coupled with the map of Canebrake Drive.
Is it true and accurate from the information that you reviewed on the 3 cameras?
Yes, sir, it is.
And this map is true and accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
Your knowledge. Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 105 and evidence.
There's no objection.
I'll just hold it briefly. So tell the jury what we see here.
The 3 stills are the 2 on the left and the 1 on the right. And then this is captured. If you see the arrow going from 122 to 121, that shows you the distance between the ring camera and the incident location where you were able to see the suspect stepping up onto the house.
And at what time was that?
That was at 9:15.
All right. Mr. Stokes, I'm going to show you, I'm going to refer you back to 116 Canebrake.
Okay.
To help establish this timeline.
All right.
So 116 is where?
It is closer to South Batesville Road.
Is that it right there?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir.
And we've already discussed images, ring cameras from 116. So I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 13. Tell this jury what you're seeing.
Okay. All right, so that's the victim's vehicle driving by. That's at 9:07 a.m. And if you remember, we spoke about 9:12. This is where the gap in the video surveillance is. From 9:07 to 9:12, we don't have anything because there was no motion activation. But we know that she was at home at 9:12 and she passed that residence at 9:07.
And how far away is that residence? That's 116 to 122.
Probably 350 feet to 400 feet, roughly.
So she passes by at 9:07?
Yes,
Christina Parcell does?
Yes, sir.
And so what time does this footage of 116 show you?
This is at 10:57 a.m. and that is a red vehicle, which that's Mr. Post's vehicle.
And was that vehicle in the driveway when you arrived on scene?
It was.
All right. So now I'm going to, so you found this piece of evidence of a suspect walking into Christina Parcells at 9:07.
Yes.
Did y'all continue to canvass even after you located that?
Yes.
And what were you looking for?
At that point, we were able to tell that the suspect from that view at 9:15 from 121 looking for black pants, gray shirt, possibly a black or dark in color backpack. We were able to look for anyone walking, or motorcycle, bicycle, anything like that. So we were able to make contact at 133 Canebrake Drive, where they do not have a ring camera, but they have surveillance footage, much like the one you just watched from the side of their house. And it has multiple different angles.
I'm sorry, I got to take you back 2 seconds.
That's fine.
I forgot. I'm trying to get all my stuff in. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 104.
It's a narrow window.
You recognize this?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is that?
This is the still shots from 116 Canebrake Drive, along with a map of Canebrake showing 116 and the relevance to 122.
Your Honor, state moves exhibit 104 in evidence.
No objection.
Objection number 104. So that's just basically stills of the video we just saw.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, I'm sorry. We'll take you to 133 Canebrake. And so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 15. Now, in establishing this timeline, did you kind of have to go into the data to figure out a little bit?
Yes. So at this location, we actually had a language barrier, and we requested that TSU, which is our technical services unit, come out and assist in pulling the video. So it took a little bit longer to get this than when we were able to get the Ring doorbell. But we were able to view this and locate a suspect on a bicycle from this location right here.
Roll tape. It's rolling. I see nothing. There you go. Ooh.
And is that what y'all located right there?
Yes, sir, it is.
Can you please just let it play all
And
the way
at what
through
time
once?
is that bicycle going past 133 Canebrake?
927.
927.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit. I'm going to show you some photos. These are stills of State's Exhibit 15. All right, so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 24.
All right, that is from the still shot of the video surveillance from 133. At this point, we realized that we were looking for a white male based on the stature of the
white male based on the
shoulders.
And how were you able to determine that it was a white male?
If you look where there's a mask right there, yep, there's a side of the neck that is exposed.
And what kind of bike is the suspect riding?
It appears to be a large frame, either a road bike or a hybrid road mountain bike.
And what kind of clothes?
Black pants, dark and colored shirt, and then a dark backpack.
And wearing gloves?
Gloves and a N95 mask.
And
how can you tell
us kind of what's on his head?
It's either a hat or a beanie.
All right, so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 25.
Another still shot from the same, showing the same.
State's Exhibit 26.
At this point, you can also see at the neck, just behind the mask, you can see shadowing. Looks as if it's a thin beard. At that point, that confirmed that we were looking for a white male.
State's Exhibit 27.
Again, that's the still shot from the video from 133 with the same details of what I just described.
And State's Exhibit 28.
This is from 133 Canebrake from the, if you're facing the house, it will be on the right-hand side. We have been looking at the left-hand side. This is now from the right-hand side view of it. Same individual, same time frame.
State's Exhibit 29.
Video surveillance from 133. This is from the right-hand side.
And of course, did you keep canvassing?
We did.
Were you able to locate any more ring cameras that were important to your investigation?
Yes, sir. We located one more on Saratoga, which is the road that Canebrake Drive runs into, and that's at 207, and that was at 938. Excuse me, 928. 927 for the last house, and this one is 9.
All right. And I jumped ahead again. I'm going to run you back to 133. But I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 106. State's Exhibit 106.
Yes, sir.
Is that 133?
That is 133 Canebrake Drive. Yes, sir.
And what's the timeline?
That's at 9:27 a.m. and the map below shows the location.
State moves 106 into evidence, John.
No objection.
Without objection, number 106.
Okay. And then finally, State's Exhibit 102. State's Exhibit 102?
Yes, sir.
You recognize that?
Yes, sir. That is from the video surveillance from 133 showing the neckline of the Caucasian male.
State moves 102 into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection.
All right. Now let's go to 207. Tell us a story about 207 Saratoga.
207 Saratoga is down the road from the incident location. Now, the Ring doorbell at this location captured a couple walking, and then directly thereafter, the same subject that was on the bicycle captured at 133 was seen going from left to right, passing by the residence. This is in the same direction in which it just came from, passing 133.
So the last one was at 133.
Yes, sir.
And then down here to the right of State's Exhibit 107 is 207 Saratoga.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 12. And let you tell this jury about it.
The defendant's house is more secluded. This one's pretty suburb.
So like I mentioned earlier, Saratoga and the intersection of Canebrake is to the left of this or the front of this house. The intersection is up to the left, and here comes the gentleman on the bicycle from left to right. That was at 9:28.
That was at 9:28. And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 31.
So that's a still shot from the video from 207 Saratoga.
I see him cruising, but I don't see him
State's
pedaling.
Exhibit 32.
Is it all downhill there?
Another still shot, same location.
Is that the same individual at 133 Canebrake?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 33.
Now he's got a knee bent a little further. Might be pedaling.
Same individual, same video surveillance, still shot.
State's Exhibit 34.
Another still shot. Another same.
And State's Exhibit 35.
And that's the last image we have of the individual passing. 207 Saratoga.
All right. So, in establishing everything that we've talked about now, did you create sort of a timeline
Yes, sir.
of events of what happened on October 13th, 2021?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm just going to ask you, and I'll help you the best I can.
Right.
You've seen me moving a lot around here and holding up a lot of exhibits, so we need to refer back to when we can.
Right.
But I'd just like to ask you to give this jury a timeline of events of that morning.
All right. So based on the neighborhood canvas, we were able to find from 8:07 was the first initial to 11:04, 11:05 is when EMS, fire department personnel are on scene. As we talked about earlier, we have the subject walking into the front door at 9:15. We were able to back up and see the videos of her leaving and then coming back, and seeing from 1:16 canebrake. That shows that she returned, and directly thereafter you get to go back to 1:21. She's back at the house. He steps in at 9:15, and then at 9:27 he passes 133. At 9:28 he passes 207 Saratoga. That's a very short time frame when you break it down from 9:12 that she's there. We know that she had returned at 9:07, and then he's passing 207 Saratoga 9:28.
That's great.
And did you speak with Donna Gorman as well?
I did.
And so what time, do you remember what time she saw, approximately what time she saw a bicycle who?
She mentioned in between 8 and 8:15 the same morning that she had saw a gentleman on a bicycle going from South Batesville toward 122 canebrake.
And I got one last exhibit, State's Exhibit 103. What is that?
That is 207 Saratoga, where the gentleman on a bicycle is going from left to right.
State moves 103 to Your Honor.
No objection.
Without objection, number 103.
We've got less than 30 minutes left.
So
We'll be done
finally,
by 5.
were y'all sharing all this information as this investigation was ongoing?
Yes, sir.
And you shared it with Detective Sparkman?
Yes, sir. As soon as I obtained it, that was sent to my county computer and then transferred directly over to his county computer via the Q drive. So that he has immediate access to it.
I'll just ask you to answer any questions defense counsel may have.
Yes, sir.
Examination. Just real briefly, so what was the very first photograph or video that you have of a bicycle?
The first bicycle that we had was from 133 at 9:27 a.m.
9:27. So you don't have any video or any photographs of a bicycle prior to 9:15 when you say you saw somebody?
No, we didn't see the bicycle at 9:15.
I'm sorry, but see, or before 9:15?
No, we did not.
Okay. Did you canvass the neighborhood? Well, during your canvass of the neighborhood, did you look for time frames before 9:15 also?
Yes, sir. We backed it up, and before 8 a.m. there was nothing of relevance at that.
Okay, nothing further. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
You missed it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we switch to the next witness here. Josh has promised to give 10 memberships if we hit 1,000 likes, and we're 150
Yeah,
away.
we approach?
150 away. So if we can do 150 more likes, we're 149 now. 10 more of you will be in green, courtesy of Josh. You have to hurry and do it before he rescinds his offer. It's a different view of the defendant. We don't always see that one, but interesting that he still has the beard, that he's kept that look, especially when it's alleged that he had a beard at the scene of the crime. Why? Do you think he should have shaved before the trial? Okay, we're going fast. We are 52 away. 52 away from hitting the 1,000 mark. Might do it before they finish the sidebar. You guys are hauling.
Again, I just want to remind you that you are prohibited from watching any TV coverage of the trial. You should not do any research or anything, or talk with anyone involved, or research anyone involved in the case. You're not to look at any social media. And I feel like I thoroughly advised you all of this. I have no question that you are abiding by my instructions and also your oath is yours. Again, I want to just tell you how much and how grateful I am on behalf of the state of South Carolina and Greenville County for your service. I'm going to see y'all back at 9:30 in the morning, okay? Y'all have a good evening.
See if they have any more argument here, or if this is just wrap up. Josh just gifted 10 memberships, came through on his promise. Thank you very much. Cynthia, Crazy Mom, Super Duper Cooper, Mary Jane. Looks like they're done with that. Mary Jane, I missed it. Vicky, Path Tech, Marjorie, Nick. Oh, Tickled Pink just gifted a membership as well. Added on to that. Thank you. Josh, appreciate your generosity. Josh is one of our great mods. Helps us find a lot of some of the small cases that fill our time throughout the day.
I'll see y'all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. That's good, John. In the morning.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning. He'll see us in the morning. I want to give a big thanks and a shout-out to Trial TV Live getting us that footage for that part of the day that we missed. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Aaron. You guys are amazing. Trial TV Live is a good friend of the channel. We're not competitors. We're fellow channels with the same. We have the same interest. We love transparency in the courtroom. They're all about that as well. That's what their channel is about. They love to bring to you trials and preserve those so you can watch them. And they're doing an absolute fantastic job doing that. Yo Mama gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Larly Annie gifted another one. She gifted some earlier too. Megan Easton comes in with the gifted membership. There's a huge train of memberships flying out right now. Let's see. Was there another one in there? Tickled Pink. Oh, Jamie Jane gifted 5 memberships. Selena K gifted a membership as well. Some of you are repeat gifters. Hey, well, podcast, I see you just received a gift. That's one of our OGs as well. That's awesome. The gifts were, the bribery was on point. Amanda Florentine gifted a membership. Thank you. Home Alone Legend gifted 5 memberships. Oh my goodness. This is just cruising. I can't even keep up with all the gifted names. I'm trying to see if I recognize the names as I received gifts. But it's going quick. Okay, we've got a call here. Let's see who this is.
Call from Debbie Cook.
Hang on 1 second. Rona gifted a membership, and Megan Easton gifted a membership. Hey, Debbie, we're just wrapping up for today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It is killing me to watch this.
Why?
Knowing stuff that you don't know.
Debbie, don't spoil it.
Killing me.
Here's the deal.
It's killing me.
There is no court on Monday.
I have a question. I know. I have a question that it's not spoilery because you guys have already seen this part. Do you think the flowers around her was staged, or do you think she had a bouquet of flowers and that she hit him like to fight him off with the bouquet of flowers?
I've suggested the second might be true because there were stems, leaves, everything. If they were going to spread flowers, it's going to be like wedding flower girls spread petals from a basket. That's what I would expect.
No, Libby, I'm not going to spill the tea because everybody will yell at me.
Yes, and I will ban you forever. So you don't want that. We are 3 hours behind. That is it. There are 3.
Can I give a hint?
No.
Can I give a hint?
No. You're breaking up. I've got you muted. You can't talk.
Okay, I won't. Did you ever see my good news?
Did you say something about only 3 hours of court, so we're only 3 hours behind, right?
I'm not going to spoil it. Did you see my good news?
You applied for something?
Yes, I applied for monetization.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. I know you'd applied. It hasn't come back yet. Hopefully you just get that in a heartbeat.
I just applied today. I got 522 subscribers last night. I got over 500.
That's awesome. That opens up to memberships. Usually they're pretty quick about handling that. So probably before the weekend is over, you'll have an answer. So
it said it could take up to a month.
Yeah, they say that, but that's just like buying them time. They can do it really quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. I just wanted to ask that question because that's been driving me crazy. Because I pictured it like he brought rose petals with him to like spread around, like staging.
No, I just don't see that. What I see here.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Let me download this, save, and share.
I saw the pictures of the stems, and I was like, did he bring it like that? And then
it looks like she was like holding. She might have been like
it?
putting flowers in a vase when she's surprised. So she's like, who are you? And whacks him with it, and he's like holding, defending himself with the knife that he's trying to attack her with in just a minute, and that shredded the flowers. I think that's how I envision this going down. Hold on. I'm trying to bring in Debbie. Thank you very much. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
Congratulations on your good news. Thank you for not spoiling it, because I'd hate to not be able to be friends again.
I would hate to lose your friendship because I love you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Debbie, we'll see you. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Let me show you what Amber just sent us. Give me just 1 second. She's been working hard on this, and there's a lot to it. This is a little timeline that. Hang on 1 second. Let me get it back up. Okay, timeline. I'm going to zoom in so I can see it on my screen. Let's see. On the left-hand side, starting at 2012, Mello and Parcello have a child. October 2015, Mello files for sole custody. January 2016, now at the bottom, the second thing in, Mello awarded full custody. August 2016, Parcell granted visitation. In 2017, Mello files to revoke visitation under suspicion of the abuse. January 9th, 2019, visitation schedule agreement reached, final order on 2/4. On October 4th, Mello moves back to Italy with the child, has full custody. October 30th of 2020, Parcell filed a rule to show cause alleging Mello wasn't following the visitation order. In December 16th, 2020, there's a hearing held. Mello's not present. Guardian ad litem is assigned. Mello's found in contempt of visitation order. April 14th of 2021, the child was ordered to return to South Carolina by the Italian Central Authority pending resolution of U.S. family matter, court matter, later overturned. April 19th of 2021, there's an indictment issued for Mello for custodial interference. This was later removed. July 21st, 2021, there's an arrest warrant issued by GSCO, Greenville County Sheriff's Office for Mello, sorry. And then October 13th, 2021, we have the murder. This is a work in progress. There's going to be more stuff on this, but this is where Amber is so far. October 20th, 21st, there's a post was arrested for videos found during the murder investigation. That was on his phone. Mello returns to U.S. for his child. And then on November 3rd, Hughes is assigned for arrested for Parcell's murder. So the timeline is starting to come together. We just need to have the cigar store, the job interview, the home purchase, the curtains in the front room, the cocaine, the wedding proposal, the Italian takeout, the bike in court, the murder roses, the bloody bike, Senator Lindsey Graham, naked in the woods, a good man. He's a good man off the record. Let's see. The letters from the Saint, the private investigator, and the biker dude. Taco Tuesday, Mullins investigation, and the clone phone added to that timeline, and we'll be set. So all the strange things that have been happening in this court, there have been quite a few. All right, I'm back. Great work, Amber. This is starting to make sense, and it has been hard, but it is coming together. The pieces are fitting more so. I think I might have missed some. I think I did miss some here. Hang on just 1 second. Megan Easton gifted a membership. Thank you. Rona gifted a membership. Amanda Florentine gifted a membership. Selena K gifted a membership. Megan Easton gifted another membership. Larly Annie gifted a membership. Tickled Pink Music gifted a membership. And Taz gifted 5 memberships. Let's see. Larly Annie says, Happy Valentine's Day, RA, Mrs. RA, and little RAs and the addicts there. You all are very good at smashing that like button. Snacks gifted a membership today as the gavel drops. Thank you very much. It gifted 5 memberships. Christy Queen, been here for longer, never leaving, 9 months. Kenneth White, member for 15 months. Thanks for the coverage. That's how that kicked off our live stream this morning. And then, let's see, I think I missed a few more. It's my page is not updating. Let's try this again. Judy M, me and you. Me, you. 15 months. Congratulations, Judy. Appreciate that. All right, we're at the point. Let me tell you what's going to happen. We're not going to go live tomorrow. Tomorrow is the weekend. I'm going to be working on fixing my bathroom, so I have a second bathroom for 7 people in our house. 1 is not enough. I will take a picture of dinner tonight because I think there will be a lobster, at least a lobster tail. I've never tried it before. I'm gonna see if Mrs. RA will let me spring for it. Holly Mack says, "Isn't this the strangest trial?" It is, Holly Mack. It is the strangest trial. There will be probably a series of movies made from this story. 1 is not enough. Many layers to this crime. Sadly, it is. One of the layers is tragic and terrible. And I'm not talking about the murder one. I want bathroom construction pics also. I need to be building it for, we want video of you eating it. I probably will just take a picture and share because it's Valentine's Day dinner. I'll be like whispering sweet nothings and everything. That's just for Mrs. RA. I don't share that with you. Docudrama in the making for sure. Dip in melted butter. I've got instructions. I've got a video on YouTube that'll show me how to eat it. If I need help, I will ask the waiter to demonstrate, even if I have to buy him his own lobster so he can demonstrate to me how to eat it. I'm going to figure it out. There's no way I'm waiting until Monday. No, it's all right. But just if you do watch ahead, there's only 3 hours that we're behind. Only 3 hours. And we're going to be watching that on Monday. So we'll have a half day on Monday. It is a holiday, but we'll be here regular time, probably 9 o'clock in the morning, and start that. Then we'll be caught up. And then on Saturday, then on Tuesday when we come back, we'll be completely caught up. There will be no spoilers because it'll all be live. Megan Easton says it's been a week. You all are loved. Stay safe. Thank you very much, Megan. It definitely has been a week. I wanted to share a little bit. We currently don't. We lost two good friends of the channel in this last week. We lost Ricky Watson and we lost Sharon McDonald. Sharon was one of our mods. We don't have any additional information yet. I know some people were asking about sending flowers. The family has a private service. I've not received anything other than that. We know that there is going to be sort of like a memorial of life service, a celebration of life service at a rodeo event in Texas, I think in Plainview. I believe that's going to be early in March, but we don't have any addresses to send flowers to or cards or anything. I'm trying to get that, and if I do, I'll get that. I'll share that with you, and we'll go from there. But it has been a hard week. I appreciate all of you. I've had so many of you reach out to me and reach out with concern to other, not just creators, but other people on the channel who are close to the individuals who passed. And asked and concerned about them, concerned for me, concerned for their family members, and I've got to just say thank you so much for being the absolute best community on YouTube. I couldn't have got through this week without you guys. And that being said, I'm very glad it's the weekend. I haven't allowed myself to process everything yet, and this weekend's gonna be hard. So. Red Pen, thank you very much. 25 months, Red Pen. I appreciate that. Monday is day 4, not tomorrow. That's correct. If I said tomorrow, it's because my brain is so tired. All right. Lois Cox, member for 22 months. Thank you. Also member of the jury. Lois is a fantastic supporter of the channel. thank you very much. Sharon and Ricky, thank you. Allison gives a super chat, says, no Valentine for me this year, so want to share my love with y'all. Y'all make me laugh and smile, even on hard days. Thank you. I've learned through doing this that in this community we're big enough that every day is somebody's hardest day. Like somebody in this community, there's somebody in chat who is facing a serious surgery. There's somebody who just lost a loved one, someone who's close to them. There's somebody who is, has a very uncertain health future themselves, with a terrible prognosis and a lot of scary treatment up ahead. There are people who are sadly celebrating anniversaries for the passing of loved ones in their life that left all too soon and without any warning. This community has all of those. And we also have people who, just got a new job today, or just, Debbie just reached a benchmark on our YouTube channel that she's been so excited and working towards. It is incredible to sit here and have a burner phone where you guys can reach out to me and share your lives with me. And I thank you for doing that. It was probably the most unexpected part of being a content creator, a live streamer on YouTube, is the connection that I would feel for the community, the people who are watching on the other end. Thank you all. Thank you all for sharing that with me. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. I can't tell you the number of times we've added people I've never met, and I only know by a username and maybe a phone number to a family prayer as we're concerned for what's going on. As Ayden, a good friend of the channel right now, dealing with a major issue at his company today. Luckily, no life was lost, but a huge fire that upsets the work for 180 of his employees. There's a lot going on. So when I say my outro, please know I'm thinking of all of you in that situation. So tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe until we go live again. It will be Monday morning on the holiday. We will catch up with what happened today in court, and then we'll be all the way caught up on this twisted rose petal murder trial out of South Carolina that has all the connections to all the wrong things. Bingo has been had many, many times over. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers we have on the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please take a chance to do that so you can find us again next week. It'll be a lot of fun to have you here. Thank you for all the likes. That helps the channel immensely as well. We are growing. I realize there are growing pains when we grow. Thanks for your patience as new people come in and learn the ropes and learn what we are and what we aren't here. And I would say if I've offended any of you, I apologize. Reach out to me on the burner phone. We'll talk it out. We'll talk it out. Oh, I'm going to try lobster this weekend. I'll take a picture. You guys have yourselves an absolutely fantastic weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you.
In front of the Walmart.
I saw a chicken fight.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.